Hi there, welcome to Camping Secrets. I'm Marky Mark, and we've got a shootout for you today. We've got 3 of the top 2 kilowatt power stations on the market. We've got the Anker Powerhouse 767, we've got the Bluetti AC200Max, and we've got the Jackery 2000 Pro. These are all capable of at least 2 kilowatts of output power. They've all got about 2 kilowatt hours of capacity, storage capacity, and they're all about £2,000 or thereabouts in the UK. But which one's best? We're gonna dig in and find out. So when you're judging items like this, consumable electronics, every piece of gear has got its pros and cons. And it can be difficult to sort of isolate each of the parameters that you may regard as useful. So let's just set the scenario of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the best power pack for camping. I'm not looking for the best power pack for home use as a battery backup for your main system, something that's getting discharged every day. I'm looking for something that I can take camping, which will pack away, which will deliver the goods in terms of power when I need it. So they're my sort of criteria. How am I going to judge it? I'm going to go through a list of key parameters that I see as essential for a camping power pack. And I'm going to do a first past the post system whereby if one of these power packs has a distinct advantage over the others, it wins a point. I don't care if the other is close behind or a long way behind, the winner will get a point. If they're both matched, say 2 match out of the 3, both of them will get a point. If they all match, none of them get a point because they're all the same. So that's how I'm going to do it. I've got about 15 parameters I'm going to go through, and we're just going to see which ones out of the Anker, the Bluetti and the Jackery come top in terms of what I consider useful for camping. So let's get started straight away. First off is price. Price is one of those things that it fluctuates. You know, some suppliers may drop their price and they might offer discounts, but I've just taken today's price on the website of each manufacturer in the UK, and that's going to be my first criteria. So the Anker 767 Powerhouse at the moment on Amazon and on Anker's website is £2,199 UK pounds. The Bluetti AC200Max is £1,899 on Bluetti's website. And the Jackery is £1,999 on Jackery's website. But I did see it for £1,899 on several websites in the UK. So Bluetti wins that one just by a sliver. The Jackery can get it for the same price, but not from Jackery's official website. And because of the warranty, which is another parameter I'm going to look at, it's important that you buy from the official websites, in my view, to get the full warranty. So the Bluetti at £1,899 is the cheapest of the 3 at the moment from official websites. So we're going to give a point to Bluetti on price. Next up, it's dimensions and volume. Now I'm going to read off a piece of paper here because it's quite hard to remember, but let's start with the Anker 767, and that measures 52.5 centimeters by 25 by 39.5, giving a total volume of the unit of about 51,800 centimeters cubed. Moving on to the Bluetti, that's 42 centimeters by 28 centimeters by 38.65 centimeters, giving a total volume of 45,400 centimeters cubed. And then finally, the Jackery 2000 Pro measures only 38.4 centimeters by 26.9 centimeters by 30.75 centimeters. So that's only 31,760 centimeters cubed. You can tell that the Jackery is way smaller, and I mean way smaller. It's about 1/3 smaller volume than the Anker for the Jackery. So that is a clear win for the Jackery in terms of size, because for me, camping, size is very important. My camper van's small, I haven't got much storage space, so the smaller power pack, the better in my view. So a point for Jackery. Moving on to weight. And again, it follows a similar trend. So the Anker here is 30.5 kilograms. The Bluetti is 28.1 kilograms. And again, the Jackery 2000 Pro is down at only 19.5 kilograms. So there's a massive difference. If I hold up, yeah. The Jackery is pretty light, the Anker is heavy. You know, it's not quite double, but it's nearly, you know, it's at least a half again as heavy as the Jackery, which is a significant amount of weight. So why is that? Well, it's down to the battery technology, which dictates the size, really, of these power packs. The Anker and the Bluetti use lithium iron phosphate batteries, and the Jackery still use lithium nickel manganese cobalt batteries, NMC, which are much more energy dense. You can pack more energy into a certain size. So even though these have got very similar capacities, and actually the Jackery's got the highest storage capacity of the three, it's got it in the smallest volume. And so that is a significant advantage for the Jackery in my view. So in terms of weight, I'm giving this one to the Jackery. Let's talk warranty. Anker give a guaranteed 5-year warranty on the 767 Powerhouse. No quibbles. They're a great company, Anker. I've bought a lot of power packs from them via Amazon or via their own website. I've actually never had any problems, so I've never had to claim on the Anker warranty, but they put it up there bold and clear that it's a simple 5-year warranty, no quibbles. I have seen some people arguing on my YouTube comments section that they've not got responses from Anker when with the 767 they've had problems. But you always get complainers about any model of power pack. I've just seen this. Some people love the Jackery, some people love EcoFlow, some love Bluetti, some love Goal Zero, whatever. You get your fanboys and you get your people who have a bad experience. It's really difficult for me. I don't know what the customer service is like for any of these power packs because I've not actually had any problems. They're all working. So all I can go on is the length of warranty that the company is advertising. So Anker, 5 years. Bluetti are saying 4 years. And Jackery say 3 years, but you get an extra 2 if you buy from their official website, which you probably will. So Jackery's 5 years, Anker's 5 years, Bluetti's 4. So that's a point each for the Jackery and the Anker. Let's move on to smartphone apps. All three have got smartphone apps, so and they're all pretty similar in terms of what they offer. Being able to view various parameters on the app and look at multiple devices at once and change settings, etc. remotely. I'm giving them all a point on that, so no change to the overall score. What about storage capacity? So I said they're all around the 2 kilowatt hour mark, but let's get down to the exact numbers. So the 767 from Anker has 2048 watt hours. The Bluetti has exactly the same, 2048 watt hours. And the Jackery has 2160 watt hours, so a little bit more. So although they're very similar, the Jackery wins that one in terms of capacity and in much smaller weight and smaller volume. So quite a serious advantage there for the Jackery, I think. Another point for Jackery. So as I said, we've got different battery technologies. We've got lithium iron phosphate, and then lithium NMC in the Jackery. Now, in terms of a lifetime of these devices, lithium iron phosphate is superior. You get many more charge-discharge cycles than you do with the NMC. So I am going to put this as a parameter, but for my particular needs in terms of camping, and let's say I go camping once a week and I take a power pack, and I don't go camping every week, I probably go every 2 or 3 weeks. even the Jackery is going to last over 10 years doing that sort of camping. These will last longer, but it gets to the point, in my view, that it doesn't make a massive difference. So for camping, although I'm going to have this as a parameter in the score, I don't put as much weight on it as the size and weight of the power pack. Anyway, it's still worth judging the number of cycles. I think it is an important parameter, and it is a useful aspect of lithium iron phosphate, which these ones use. So the best way of judging this is how many charge-discharge cycles can you get with these power packs and still have 80% total capacity remaining. With the Anker, it's 3,000 cycles. With the Bluetti, 3,500 cycles according to the websites. And for the Jackery, it's about 1,000. So Bluetti win that. I haven't been able to judge it. I'm not going to be discharging this forever. I'll take the manufacturer's word at face value and give the point to Bluetti for the AC200Max. But I think in reality, these two are probably similar, but Anker need to update their number on their website if they can match the 3,500. So point for Bluetti in terms of longevity. Right, let's get down to the meat of it. How much power can they chuck out and what sort of inverter size have they got? So we'll look at two things here. We'll look at average steady state power delivery and then surge power and see which one can give the most. So the Anker website says for the 767 that we got a possible maximum output of 2,300 watts, 2.3 kilowatts. That's a nice amount. The AC200Max is 2.2 kilowatts, 2,200 watts, and the Jackery is exactly the same. So these two can give out exactly the same power. The Anker gives out 100 watts more. So although it's very close, the Anker wins the point there. In terms of surge power, the Anker is much lower than the others. It only can give 3.2 kilowatts of power in a surge condition. The Bluetti has a monster 4.8 kilowatts, and the Jackery has a very respectable 4.4 kilowatts. But the AC200Max wins for surge power there. Let's move on to AC power outlets. You've got to be able to drive your gear with these things, and a key thing in the UK is how many 3-pin plug sockets have you got on the front. So the Anker has, as you can see here, 1, 2, 3. The Bluetti has a whopping 4 on the front here, 4 AC outlets, and the 2000 Pro from Jackery only has 2. So I'm going to give that to the Bluetti AC200Max. What about charge time? If you're plugging these into the mains, how long does it take to charge up from 0 to 100% or say 10 to 90%? Well, let's get one thing out of the way. The Bluetti is by far the worst in terms of mains charge power. It only has 400 watts of input power from mains, and it can take up to 6 hours to fully charge. The Jackery I found was around an hour and a half for 0 to 80% and pushing almost 2 hours for 0 to 100%. I found in my testing that the Anker was the quickest. It was about an hour and 15 from 0 to 100%. So I'm going to give the point in terms of charge time to the Anker. Sort of related to that, and I find it quite an important category, is do you need any external power brick to charge these things from the mains, or can you just plug them with a kettle lead into the wall? The Anker, you can just plug in directly, straight into it, no problem. Same with the Jackery. However, the Bluetti has to use this brick. And you lose it, it's noisy, it's got its own fan, it's weighty, takes up space. It is just a bit of a hassle and a bit old-fashioned now. So I'm going to give a point to each of Anker and Jackery for not having one of these. Effectively, Bluetti, you're losing a point for this. And I hope your next similar power stations remove these power bricks. It's old fashioned, guys. Point each for these. Let's move on to solar charging. Now, it's really useful to be able to charge these things up with solar, especially in countries other than the UK. Over here, we get so little sunshine. And when you do, it's variable. Clouds go overhead and, you know, you just don't get a high amount of light intensity on your solar panels for a long period of time. But even so, being able to charge from solar panels, whether you've got an existing array or some portable panels, is an important category. And the amount of input power from DC solar that the power packs can take is important. So the Anker 767 can take 1,000 watts of DC solar power in. So that's a very respectable number, a kilowatt. You know, that would offer very fast charging of a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours under maximum solar. The Bluetti is still reasonable. It's 900 watts, but it's less than the Anker. But the winner is the Jackery here, because this can take 1.2 kilowatts of solar from up to 6 200 watt solar panels. And actually, I'll be doing a video soon checking its ability out with those 6 solar panels. I've got them and I'm going to be testing this soon. But the Jackery wins on solar input power. Let's talk expandable capacity. If the 2 kilowatt hours of storage in these is not enough and you want to put in more, it's not really relevant for camping, and so I debated whether to include it, but it is an important feature. Can you expand the batteries? So on the Anker you can basically double it from 2,048 watt hours up to 4,096, so you can double. The Bluetti, you can actually add an extra 6.144 kilowatt hours on top of the 2 kilowatt hours that you've already got. So that's a whopping, you know, you can almost quadruple it. And the Jackery cannot expand the capacity. It's fixed at the 2.1 kilowatt hours. In terms of expandability, the Bluetti wins. You can basically add more storage with this than the others. So we're getting to the end now. I was just trying to think of some final categories. For me, USBC sockets are really important. I'm less inclined to bother about the USB-As. How many USB-C 100 watt sockets have we got? Well, on the Anker, we've got 1, 2, 3 of them at the front. Great. The Bluetti, just 1 of them. And the Jackery, we have 2 over here. So the Anker wins in terms of USB-Cs. 3, 1, 2. Point for Anker. Bing. And finally, I just put a category of, is there any unusual feature that the power pack has that the others don't have that can win it a point? And for me, what I love about the Anker is the handle, telescopic handle and wheels. So even though it's heavy, Anker have thought about the design, and you can wheel this around, and then the weight is less important of the LiPo batteries. So that is a really useful feature, and I give it a point for that. Similarly, the Bluetti does have a good feature in terms of it has wireless charging on the top. 2 pads, you can just chuck your phone down and it will charge without the need for wires. That's sort of a Bluetti standout feature that they put on a lot of their power packs. I don't use it that often, but it's quite nice to see that they're trying something different and adding features like that. So, you know, I'm going to give them a point as an unusual feature. Jackery, I'm not going to give any points. There's no real standout feature that the 2000 Pro has. It's just really good at what it does in the size and weight that it does it. So no extra point for Jackery there. So let's get the scores on the doors. And it is a tricky one because if we add them all up, you're not going to believe it. We get 6 points for the Anker, we get 6 points for the Bluetti, and we get 6 points for the Jackery. So they're all, in terms of what I consider useful for camping, about equal. But if I've got to make a decision into which one I would take for a camping expedition, it would be the Jackery 2000 Pro. This is the winner in my eyes for camping, primarily because it wins by such a large margin in terms of solar input power, size, weight, and it's got enough outputs, it's got enough power out, it's got enough surge power to be great at what it does. And the expandability for me, yes, you can't expand it, but it doesn't matter when you're going camping for a weekend or even longer. The 2000 Pro, for me, is the best power pack out of these three for camping. If we were looking at a different use case, home use or whatever, then the other two would probably pip it due to the LiPo battery technology and the expandability. But for me, it's the best power pack on the market at the moment in the 2 kilowatt range, the Jackery 2000 Pro. Anyway, that's my summation of these power packs. I hope you found it interesting, and be sure to keep watching the channel and like and subscribe to the video if you found it useful. I've been Marky Mark. This has been Camping Secrets. Thanks for watching.